I don't think most people realize this, but you didn't just grow up, you adapted. And in that process, you were assigned a role. Not consciously, not out loud, but through patterns, expectations, and what your environment needed from you. And the hardest part is that role didn't stay in childhood. It followed you into adulthood. And it's still shaping how you think, how you show up, and how you relate to other people. Part 1, you didn't choose this. No child wakes up and decides, I'm going to be the responsible one, the quiet one, the fixer, the one who doesn't cause problems. That's not a personality decision. That's an adaptation. At some point, your environment communicated something to you. Maybe not in words, but in patterns. When I do this, things feel calm. When I don't, something feels off. And your nervous system learned quickly. This is how we stay safe. Section 2, the roles. And while every family looks different, there are patterns that show up over and over again. The good one. Some of you became the good one, the easy child, the one who didn't push back, the one who made things easier for everyone else. And what you learned was, I am loved when I don't cause problems. The fixer. Some of you became the fixer. You could feel when something was off before anyone said it. And you stepped in, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically, to hold things together. And what you learned was, it's my job to make sure everything is okay. The scapegoat. Some of you became the scapegoat, the one who was blamed, misunderstood, or labeled as the problem. And what you learned was, something about me is wrong. The invisible child. And some of you became invisible. You stayed quiet, you stayed small, you stayed out of the way. And what you learned was, it's safer if no one notices me. And as I'm saying these, you might already feel which one you relate to. Part 3, why it sticks. Here's the part no one really explains. You don't grow out of these roles automatically because they don't just live in your behavior, they live in your identity. It's almost as if they're part of your personality, even though you almost think that they don't really capture who you are. Because it's reinforced over time, rewarded or punished, wired into your nervous system. So even as an adult, you might feel pulled to be who you had to be back then. Part 4, when you start to change. And this is where things get really, really confusing. Because the moment you start stepping out of that role, setting boundaries, speaking up, choosing yourself, you don't just feel relief, you also feel guilt. People react, dynamics shift, internal conflict arises. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're disrupting a system that depended on you staying the same, not evolving like you're trying to do. Section 5, the identity crisis. And then comes the question that almost no one prepares you for. If I'm not this role, then who am I? Because for so long, your identity was built around who you were. It wasn't built around who you were. It was built around what you did to survive, to adapt, to mold to the role that you were given. And letting go of that can feel like losing part of yourself, even if that part was never truly you. Reclaiming yourself. But here's the shift. You're not the role you had to become. You were adapting to an environment, not defining your identity. And the fact that you can recognize that now means you're already stepping out of it. So in closing, you were never meant to stay who you had to be to survive. That version of you did its job, but it's not your final form. If something in this resonated, I'd be curious. Which role do you feel like you've been playing? Feel free to drop it in the comments. And if you're not sure yet, that's okay too, because we're going to start unpacking this together. Thank you for tuning in to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And just know that your viewing means a lot to me. Your comments mean a lot to me. And what a wonderful, empathetic, compassionate community we have. I am so happy that you all are tuning in, and hopefully you're getting some insight into the roles more deeply. And stay tuned for a big announcement here soon. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.